My name is Paxton, and for my evidence of expertise for AVID, I chose intellectual curiosity, mainly because of the impact it has had on my academic, personal, and social life. To define intellectual curiosity, to me, is to seek out hobbies, interests, and challenges in school and in your personal life, and put those all together to enrich who you are as a person. So for me in school, that would be chasing scientific fields of classes like biology, chemistry, and pushing myself in that section because I've always been interested in science, but I've never really pushed into that group. So for that, I decided to take more rigorous classes, talk with my teachers after school, try to get a better idea of the field of study. I feel like what I really learned about taking all those classes and asking all those questions was really the importance to push boundaries, especially when it's really challenging. Like when I took chemistry, it was really confusing and I never really got it at the first go, and I would have to take time after school to just focus on it. But I feel like that really appealed to me and taught me that myself, I am someone who likes to challenge myself and find problems and fix them. And so that's where science kind of taught me something about myself that I didn't really know. And then also it kind of gave me some insight on the field and made me realize that I actually do want to go into a field like that when I'm older. But looking at the bigger picture, I feel like the most important steps for practicing intellectual curiosity is to, one, discover your interests. That means span out and try new things. For me, that meant doing a lot of things that I realized were really boring and quitting them immediately. But it also led me to find things like playing the guitar, which, however bad I am at it, I find it really enriching. And I like the idea that maybe one day I will be able to play a song like that I could create or that I could find and be able to just play music. And that kind of leads to step number two, which is realizing what you get out of it. So you want to focus on what are the challenges. You want to find something that's really challenging and keeps you engaged, which is kind of feeding into motivation. You want to make sure that what you're doing is interesting, but also going to keep you interested. So not only is it an interesting topic, but the things that it makes you do keep you busy or keep you physically busy or your mind busy. It just needs to keep you engaged. And I think those are really key points that a lot of people, especially myself, will overlook and then in the end realize that none of it's worth it because they don't fit those criteria. And I don't want to be too cliche, but I think it's really important to just practice. I mean, to build momentum. Like if you start something, it doesn't have to be a lot, but to just do something every time you get the chance. So for example, me and my friends, we started reconstructing this old dirt bike that my friend had. And we had a bare frame in the beginning and it was nothing. It was not functional. It had a rear swing arm and a rear wheel and that was it, and the chassis. And every time we hung out, we would add something. And eventually it started looking a little bit better. And in the end of it, I realized that probably one of the biggest parts of this whole experience is you have to be challenged, obviously, like I said before, but then it has to lead into something bigger. Like you have to gain something at the end of the tunnel. So to quickly summarize, it needs to be interesting. You need to know that you like it. You need to know that it's engaging. You need to know that it will challenge you. But you also need to practice at it and really chip away at it every time you get a chance. And then in the end, if you find something rewarding from it, then keep with it. So to wrap things up, I think the biggest things that I can say, at least technique wise, is just putting in daily practice if you can, weekly practice, just get a schedule down to focus on the bigger picture of what you're going to be able to do. Obviously it's going to be hard in the beginning when you focus on little things like, oh, it's very difficult to focus on what I'm doing right in front of me, picking the right strings at the same time or just getting a part to fit. It's all part of a bigger picture, and that's what makes it worth it in the end. So really just focus on what it's gonna be, and focus on continually working towards it.